Hello, we're back again, and it's Astrologer Val Evans, and I've got Amber with me. Hi, Amber.
Hello.
Hello, we are back. We tried one time. We're hoping that it works this time, but thanks everybody for your patience. Hopefully, people are getting some notifications.
Yeah.
Yes, Meg, she's like, we're back. Yes, I love these.
Anything in life like that, I like to call it plot twist. We
Oh,
had a
this
little
little
plot
plot
twist.
twist. I know. Hello, Eve is with us. And for any of you who don't know Eve, you can go to her channel, True Crime with Eve. She's a friend of the channel. And Teapot, yeah, I know. We were all scared, but it just sometimes we just have to reboot, right? And we are talking.
Yeah.
Hey, Melanie, Deborah's here, so I'm glad you guys found us. Now, we are talking about a storm that is being called the worst in 100 years for Tampa. And it just gives you chills down your spine. And I put that up on the thumbnail there. Saturn is going over Neptune in Tampa's chart. And this is bad. Saturn is black. Neptune is water. So it's black water you're going to be seeing. It is despair, it's sadness, it's death, it's death in the water, and it's going back and forth along Neptune in Tampa's chart. And how do you draw the Tampa chart or the Tampa horoscope? Well, it is the date of incorporation, so that's how I
Yeah.
found that, and it's going to be there for a little while. And interesting how Saturn is going to be, when it goes forward again in November, it's going to be going through the fourth house for Tampa, which is sadness of people who are living in homes and having to rebuild and not having much. It's like it's shrinking. The homes shrank. So we're seeing this energy. Oh, great. We've got a lot of people coming in.
Yes.
Thank you, Eve. I know. Everybody's worried. I've got cousins, I've got friends, all in that path, and I can't even talk about it. It's
Yeah.
one of my cousins is not budging. She's 20 miles south of Tampa. We also have Brits who are on the chat and listening, and they have gotten stuck in Florida as well. So it's quite a drama there right now. And living on the Gulf Coast, I can't say how thankful I am that, I am not hunkering down or fleeing at the moment, but that time could come for this side of the Gulf now, and that might happen sooner or later, but that's another conversation. Hello, Curious Watcher, Buckeye Clay fan, thanks for joining us. And so, oh wow, Angel D said my TV changed channels on its own 5 times when you left. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, it took me a little bit of a few minutes to get everything up and running again because I burned some incense. So that's why you guys were kind of waiting there.
Yeah.
Now, so this is a serious hurricane. Everybody is scared for these people, and it is very difficult to leave the area because of the traffic. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to some charts here.
Mhm.
And for those of you who are joining us and you don't know where to find Amber, you can go to YouTube at Taurus Moon Tarot 761. And just to repeat again what I did in the last show, I will be on between October 14th and November 15th discussing the triumph of Richard Allen. That's coming up. Now, in the last show, I was just saying, and I'll say this real quick once again because I deleted the last show, that we're looking at the USA's astrocartography, and Neptune is going right through Florida on the west coast.
Yep.
And of course, Saturn is moving through the USA chart, and Neptune is right there. So we're definitely seeing how that is manifesting and being created. It's just a big storm. And so here it is, what I was talking about, Saturn on Neptune right there. And also, look at how Neptune is moving through the fourth house of the Tampa chart. And this chart being the birth chart of Tampa, fourth house is homes and houses. So, or different settlements. And fourth house is a cardinal house. It is one of the most important houses. So
Yeah.
Neptune, sometimes when I see this in somebody's chart, their solar return chart, I'll say, check for leaks, number one, or number two,
Yeah.
be prepared for something that has to do with a lot of flooding.
Right. A lot
There
of
you
water.
go. You've got Neptune in the fourth there. And also, you were saying too, Neptune is a flood. It could be a hurricane, but it is squaring. Um, it's actually squaring Gemini right now, which could
Yeah.
mean two or more storms.
Yeah.
And so you were thinking that that could be a possibility?
Yes, I did. And the card that I did pull was the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And the first thing that came to mind was that it's very fast, like close together.
Oh,
Something that it's not like weeks to recover. It's very, sort of, oh gosh, we just came up for breath and now there's another storm. It
wow.
feels like it might be close. And I need to watch the weather. I'm terrible about that. I don't watch the weather.
Yeah, I know. I'm bad too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, nothing biblical about it, in my opinion. Some man-made stuff going on. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of thoughts about that. And then there's also climate change and all of that. But and I'm not going to get into that. But I do know that we probably won't be seeing this kind of weather in about 2 years or so,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more. But then it goes away. So,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that more with the Katrina chart. But
Yeah.
this is the solar return chart for Tampa. And I got into this a little bit in the last show. And we're going to look at Tampa here. And this is we're in this territory right here. This is September and October. And what's really weird is the second house, which would be the second month of the solar return chart, or basically the date anniversary. So
Yeah.
did I say this was, I think this was September 10th.
Oh, okay.
This is October 10th.
Like that.
Okay. So now we were just coming out of the Algol territory here. And so this is October 10th so we go from Venus as ruling that first house,
Yeah.
and it's over here in the 6th. But now, as far as October 10th, this is what we can kind of predict here. And let me mark this up a little bit. So we go over to Mercury. Mercury again is the twins.
Yeah.
And it is in this T square. So as soon as, October 9th, October 10th hits, which is right here, then boom, it's this huge, huge shock. And Moon is the public, Uranus is a shock. And it's also electricity too. Electricity goes out. I'm getting the chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And Mercury in the 5th is families.
Yeah.
And so this is pretty terrible. This is pretty terrible. And then so what we want to do is we look at October 10th and then to November 10th, and we've got Jupiter in here in the second house. Now, this is an incredible amount. And why do I say incredible? Because Jupiter is a large amount.
Yeah.
Second house is money. Not that we're thinking of that right away, but look at how Saturn is just like, boom. It's like this is going to cost an incredible amount of money. And also, if you didn't notice, we have another T square coming through here. And this would be squaring the government too. So this is the sun and the government. This is the government too. Saturn is also the government. So here's my question to you. And for those of you who know us, and we have our Friday shows at 4:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 BST, we look at the charts and then we ask the cards for more information. This looks like something, obviously the government's going to have a problem.
Yeah.
They do every time.
Yeah.
It's not just, they did a great job because it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get a handle on a storm like this. But can I ask you, give me more information about this T square. This actually looks like a lot of death.
Yeah.
And it looks as if the government can't do anything. So
Yeah.
now we're going to have some good news, I think, but let's focus on that.
My question was too with that second house there. Is it, the Saturn, again, like money, funding becomes a big conversation,
It's
the financial side of it. So let's see.
Yet it's also, it just occurred to me, food. People are not going to have food.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I knew that card was coming. I have chills up and down my body.
Me too.
I the Ace of Cups in reverse, which is a lot of water, everyone upside down. Lots of water. This is a huge like indicator of flooding card. And then this card, someone climbing up to higher ground alone. The Hermit card, isolated, trying to get to higher ground.
That's
I just
amazing.
that's crazy.
That's
Those cards. I knew the
great.
Ace of Cups in reverse was coming. Yeah. Oh, well, here we go. Yeah, this is the Leo card, the Strength card in reverse. That is a weakened government, a weakened position,
Mhm.
lack of power. Oh, the Devil in reverse. Yeah, there's almost like not a lot of control. um, from the government is like losing control and ability to help recover.
And not to put in the whole, oh, tell me
The
what.
five of the 5 of Pentacles again, that came out earlier when we were on the first live, and it is about people being without homes, being outside.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful. Oh, um, yeah, it is. I think that T square is no food, no money. And so what we would do is we would look at that, and let me bring that back. And we would say, okay, so there's going to be no food or money.
Yeah,
So how can this, what can offset this? And
yeah,
so we're looking for a lifeline here. And the lifeline looks like it's this blue line. And it nice because Jupiter is a lot. It's also a lot of groups,
mm,
okay? And there is a group of people here who are helping. Now, with Black Moon Lilith in there, everybody can notice. I know you noticed it. It's almost like there is somebody in there who may be doing something, helping because not really authentically helping, but is in there anyway.
yeah,
And now this could be a musician. We've already seen how Dolly Parton has come forward. So it would be kind of like that, something like musicians are coming out
yeah,
and giving some money and giving some kind of a help.
yeah,
But that looks like it to me. I don't see anything else that's helping here, but it looks like a lot of people are going to be affected here. And then
hmm.
what's that?
This is so random, but it's just a Claire moment. It made me. I know you said musician, but maybe you can see in the chart if you're able to see. Is Elon Musk going to help financially?
I'm not sure about him,
I
but
don't.
and you're probably saying that because you're seeing Uranus there.
Yeah,
We'll have to look for that. In this chart, it isn't particularly positive. And you know what? A lot of times in these hurricane charts, you'll see Uranus as, maybe it's a tech guy, but it can also be a helicopter because
mm,
helicopters have to come in. And it doesn't seem as if, where are the helicopters? Uranus.
I think you might be right. It could be a female because I do have Queen of Cups here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
a woman.
Now I have a couple of other charts. We'll look for Elon. I don't know what is on his mind lately, but hopefully he will step up and help. And let me get to the next chart. Okay, so that just so everybody knows, these houses are broken down into months. And I just think it's so wild that if this is going to be the second house moves into October 10th, basically hours after the hurricane hits at 11 p.m. on the 9th. All right, let's move just quickly to Katrina. And I believe 1,800 people were killed. I don't have my notes because the computer took all of my notes. But here is the Katrina chart when it hit the coast
Yeah.
in 2005. And so we're going to look at the same thing here as we did with Milton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look at some of these comments here. Oh, Taylor is supposed to be in Miami on the 10th. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
Hmm.
yeah.
That may end up delayed, I would assume.
Yeah. And just to coach the chat, we won't bring in the politics,
Right.
but yes, we can all agree there's some crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's see here. So this is a Katrina chart, and this is, look at that Libra, the wind again. Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing?
Wow.
Jupiter is in Libra, which is a lot of wind.
Upwind. Yeah.
South node is in there, so everything again is blowing out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sun is right up there. There's going to be a solar eclipse a month after this. So it's within the month of an eclipse. And
Wow.
it's with Libra there. So much wind. And so what would we do? Well, we would look to see where the hurricane is going, where it's able to go. All right. And so where is it able to go? To Libra. And where was it hit the hardest? Well, what does, did I say Libra? Leo. Leo is French. It
Yeah.
hit the French Quarter.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing? So
Wow.
it goes to the French Quarter. And guess what? The 12th house is the loss house.
Yeah.
So what happened? We kind of lost the French Quarter.
Right.
And so that was going that way. But the other thing too is and this basically is the hurricane here, lots of wind, and it was very successful. Look at that part of fortune in there. That's
Yeah.
lots and lots of success of the hurricane to do
Yeah.
damage. Then we've got Neptune. So adding lots of water to that Libra, and then in Aquarius,
Yeah.
this would mean very fast water. Fast water. And almost makes me think Aquarius means future. So I wonder if there's some kind of clue that shows us that there's going to be a future hurricane just like this one.
Right.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Melanie, if you're in the chat, we will pray that that's not the case. But yeah, I thought it was so crazy that this is headed towards something that would be French, which is Leo. And oh, by the way, what's Leo? Leo's a cat.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So, it's just kind of crazy. So there we go, French Quarter. Now, I wanted to tell you one other thing about Katrina, and this is important because we want to compare this to. And what were you saying about the female?
Yeah. I guess someone has decided to study the naming of hurricanes, and that the percentage of feminine named hurricanes create more destruction than the masculine named hurricanes historically.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Seems like it's 50-50 shot there, but hopefully Milton is not, maybe he'll break the mold.
I'm sure a man collected that data.
Yes.
Melanie, New Orleans is an Aquarius. Okay, perfect. Yes, so that makes sense.
Yeah, sounds like Melanie experienced Katrina. It's devastating.
Okay, I am kicking somebody out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like when people yell at each other. Now, let me get back here to. Okay, so this is important. Now, what you can see here, now this was a huge situation for Katrina. The criminals came in and they were saying that, yes, it was a terribly destructive hurricane, but it was the aftermath that made it even worse.
Yeah.
And so what are we seeing here? Well, North Node is the thugs. Neptune is
criminals.
is thank you, criminals. Sorry, I keep thinking of the person I kicked out. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm sorry, I kicked you out. But then this is Venus here, and so this is the actual hurricane. And of course, look at that. Venus is in Libra, so this would be a female hurricane.
oh, there it is. Yes.
Isn't that weird? Okay.
Wow.
And so you've got a box here, but unfortunately, you've got a box of, at every point, malefics. And
Yeah.
so what happened after this hurricane? The criminals came in and everything was looted. I mean, it was horrible. It was a horribly destructive time. So I wanted to keep that in mind for Milton.
Yeah.
So now we've got, okay, it's interesting that, okay, so here's the hurricane.
Yeah.
We've got the sun, which is masculine. Mercury is a twin. So is this the second of the hurricanes? Because we just had one that came through.
Right. Right.
Or is there another one after this? What do you think?
I pulled a card for that, and I think there's going to be one sooner than we would like, right on the heels of Milton. That's what I would say.
It's going to be horrible. Like if you think about all the people who don't have money, don't have a place to stay, don't
Yeah.
have food, don't have water. This
Yeah.
is, I think this is worse than what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
And okay, so okay, hold on one second. All right, so now we've got a T square here.
I was seeing that.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's like you gotta look to the T square. And what is a T square? The T square is when there is trouble. This is trouble and conflict. More conflict. I mean, this is kind of like triple conflict. It's kind of like, it's not a square, it's not an opposition, it's like everything together.
yeah.
And we've got the moon on one side and we've got Mars on the other. And weird, it's almost, I wonder if that shows the profile of two different hurricanes.
Yeah.
But,
And they're literally, that image is back to back.
yes, it's
two.
back to back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and just like you said, you had spotted Jupiter in Mercury there, and that is
Yeah.
a twin. But
Yeah.
is it many twins? So, well,
Right.
we won't even think about that.
Multiples.
But here's a clue, okay? And this is what I was trying to get to with the, showing how there were clues with Katrina. Now we have this path. Okay, this is what's going to be lost.
Yeah.
And so there is a twin clue, I think. Now, what is the twin? Twin could be something that actually has the name twin, like
Right.
Twin Peaks,
Yes.
or it could be something that has two first names.
Mm-hmm.
And Jupiter's a courthouse. Jupiter is just many, many, many groups of people.
Yeah.
Mercury and Gemini can sometimes, how they always take out these poor mobile home areas. That could be
Yeah.
one. And so anyway, it looks like it's going through there to me. So what I thought I would do you want to pull some cards and then I'll go to the map?
Sure. Yeah. What do we want to know? What does the chat want to know? There's so many people in the chat talking about their experiences and
I know.
locations and, especially for Melanie. Yeah. Oh,
Melanie, maybe that's a double twin. Katrina had two eye walls. Maybe Melanie does. Ooh, wow.
Ooh, I wish I knew more about the structure of a hurricane. It sounds like she's had probably more experience than she'd like.
Yes.
Let's
And
see.
do you need a question, or because I have one, or are
Yes.
you on something else? Okay. Yeah. The Jupiter and Gemini, which is referencing a location. Can you give us some kind of clues before we go to the map on where there's going to be an area of the most devastation?
Let's see.
Yes, hey, Toy. Is it going to change course and split in two? Yeah, that could be a good one to ask. Oh my God.
I would say certainly the most devastation is going to be to power and resources. With the Ace of Wands in reverse, that's like downed wires. That's actually fires. I'm thinking about electricity. And then the Ace of Swords, things up high, lines, power lines, things like that. Let me hold these up. I'm sorry. I always forget to do that. This makes me think of a, severe impact on the infrastructure for power. And there's that Ace of Cups again.
Can I just say something before I went on today? I got the Ace of Cups too. So
no. Yes. This is the third time I've had it today.
Yeah. So I wonder why I got one and then you got one that was reversed. Like,
yes,
some kind of, maybe it goes to being reversed, or I don't know what that means.
It makes me think of like a surge of water and a retreat of water, and then another. It's like, a wave. The water in, water out. Yeah, I agree.
And Lala, great comment. Milton is said to be aiming for Anna Marie, which would be Gemini. So, if you, I'm sure they're pulling people out of there, but it's pretty dire, I think.
Yeah.
Now, so Gemini, Jupiter and Gemini, that's a big clue for us. And we can also see too about the aftermath and about criminals. Can criminals get in there? Let me see. So we're looking at Neptune here. And we're also I like to look at North Node because that's the thugs.
Yeah.
And it looks as if I don't see anything where they have access to where this is, the Gemini.
Yeah.
So that could be a good thing. Sometimes the red lines are good. It keeps people out for whatever reason. Could be the National Guard goes there and they stay away.
Yeah.
But it does look like they're going somewhere else. And this is up here. Well, it's by the coast, obviously. It is... There's electricity. This could be electricity. It could be helicopters. Could be drones.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but these criminals could be using drones.
Right as you said that, you have this card on your thumbnail, I believe.
I do.
This particular deck, do you see the birds? As soon as you said the word drones, I pulled this card. They almost look like drones in this image.
Amazing.
The birds, messengers.
It doesn't surprise me at this point because we are always in sync. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind, maybe, that there are things coming up from the air where people are using it to get access and to go in, maybe to see if there's a police presence.
Yeah.
And also going to the places.
Rescue.
Yes. Oh, that's a good point too. Uranus is also helicopters.
Yeah.
So there could be that. Neptune could be the Navy.
Yeah.
And that shows success, which is what we want to see.
Yeah.
And let's see. Yeah. Okay. So let me see this. It's weird. It would show two things. It would show criminals and it would also show the Navy. And so, yeah, it could show the Navy is getting those people. I don't know what they're doing here because there's no real, this is the Army. I wonder if we're going to see something about the Army.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Yeah, what really causes me concern is the Black Moon Lilith. This is something where, like, Gemini is little kids. And so something like that with Black Moon Lilith would be like, I'm going and I don't care what's in my way. And, we'll see pictures of maybe really sad pictures of children and like things where Black Moon Lilith, really likes to go to, like areas where there's pets and they're adorable pets and, things like you would never dream of being in harm's way. And it goes straight for that. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go to the map and I'm going to go to the Tampa map. Oops, hang one second and I'll share it.
National Guard was sent from Indiana. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Shauna saying, yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to open this in Maps, and I'm going to go to, let's do directions. Now, Anna Marie is a good example of Gemini.
Yeah.
Anna Maria Island.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well,
okay, so it's down there.
right there.
Interesting. Okay. And then there's also, I mean, there's Twin Peaks, Florida too.
Yeah.
So that could be another Gemini clue.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if is that is that the Twin Peaks restaurant, or is that actually a city? I don't know.
Interesting. Ah,
I think I answered the question. So
yes.
that one. It'll be interesting to see if it goes that way. But
Yeah.
that's what comes up if you get twins.
Or will Twin Peaks restaurant be lost?
Oh, what's that?
Will it be lost?
Oh, yeah, it could be lost. But I like, I think it was Linda was saying that St. Pete and Tampa are kind of twin cities. So,
Oh.
yeah, Deb, martial law temporarily due to looting.
Mm.
I know so much stuff with twin. So many twins this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Tampa has an Air Force base.
Hmm.
Buckeye Clayton. I know Ohio is sending National Guard troops to Florida to help. That's great. Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a lot of drones for good and for not so good. So there's going to have to be, I mean, is there a policing of drones? And, you know, it would be really interesting to see the timing of, not that I have it right now, but I'd have to study it to see how long that, you know, you might go without power.
Yeah.
Well, let me just share this. Hurricane Milton intensifies again on cusp of a Category 5. This was as of an hour ago. And
Ooh.
let's see. It's gained strength and could double in size. There's Gemini.
Double.
Slamming, into West Central Florida as what could be one of the most destructive hurricanes on record late Wednesday. The National Hurricane Center issued the warning Tuesday saying damaging winds, life-threatening storm surge, and heavy rainfall will extend well outside the forecast cone. Hurricane warning maps show Florida blanketed in red and orange alerts. Air Force Reserve hurricane hunters find that Milton's intensity has rebounded, and so it has undergone stunningly rapid intensification Monday. Its sustained winds reached 118 miles an hour. By Tuesday, the wind speed dropped dramatically, although still a fierce Category 4 storm. It climbed back to 155 Tuesday afternoon, just below Category 5 status. So, let's see. There's a new mom with a 3-month-old baby, so she's leaving. You know, if you're listening to this and trying to figure out stay or go. Take your water, your toothbrush, your pillow, you know, whatever you can, get in that car, and just, even if you're a couple of miles from it, it's better than being in this path. This is more deadly than anything.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go jumping in a river of alligators, which is basically what you're doing. So what kind of
have you ever experienced personally a hurricane?
A couple of them, yes. When I was in Texas, I get them all mixed up. It wasn't one of the main ones, but
but nothing like what they're calling for here. I mean, I was part of Isabel, East Coast stuff, you know, no power for 3 to 4 days, and, you know, basement flooded a little bit, but this is a next level.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. And you being in an area where there are earthquakes too, I'm sure you're definitely not a stranger to these weather the weather phenomena.
But I am prepared. I bought the kit. I mean, I invested in my safety with all the water and everything. We're prepared. If it never happens, fine. But
That's good.
yeah,
And Angel, you were saying state of emergency, army, maybe. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
Indoor football season.
Here's a good question. Is there any indication that Milton will stay on the projected path?
Hmm. That's a great question. Mm. Hmm. Yes, but that will be not beneficial. Like if it shift, the answer would be yes, with the Ace of Pentacles in the upright, and then that Three of Swords. Actually, this could be. I'm kind of reading it two ways, but I think with the Three of Swords in reverse can mean there's a little bit of reprieve, or if it stays on its current path, which is a yes, there's a little less damage than if it shifts. So we maybe just keep an eye on whether they're calling for it to move or shift from the path that they're predicting right now.
Yes, thank you, Curious Watcher. And it makes me wonder. I always keep an eye on the numbers, and
Yeah.
with the three there, I wonder if it splits into three. Three
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
three different paths, I guess. So let's see here. Angel D, you were saying something. Hang on one second. I'm gonna go back into the chat. Yes, Tampa has MacDill Air Force Base. Yeah, duh, right, Emma? Let's see.
I'm seeing something that's probably unusual, and here I go on my cuckoo train, and you're going to say, "What is she talking about?" And I'm going to see what happens. But I kept getting, when we talked about like the air and the drones, and I was thinking about, this is very unusual in at least the US, to drop resources, like airdrop resources and supplies, that we don't typically see that here. And I've got this hanged man in reverse, and I was thinking it literally looks like someone hanging from a helicopter dropping resources and aid from the air. I would not be surprised if we see that.
I don't know. Just seeing that made me emotional.
Yeah.
Ah,
I know. As soon as I saw that, I was like, this is.
yep. For
Yeah.
anybody who is trying to figure out if they should leave or not, think about
Yeah.
standing on your roof and waiting many, many hours in the hot sun for
Yes.
somebody to come rescue you. You'd rather be in the car on the highway,
Yeah.
in traffic. So this
Yeah.
is, Sierra user,
Or what is
high
it?
here, South San Francisco Bay, California. And Buckeye Clay Fan Barrel was only a Cat 1, and it scared me a lot. High winds at 4 a.m. and power went out. I'm too old for that sort of thing. I hear you. Yes, Lala, we have a cold front that is pushing it down on the mobile. Yep. And maybe a bit north, Pentacles. That's a good one. And it's so interesting because you and I, we talk about the headlines, and it was, I believe, our August 30th show.
Yes.
You were saying, I'm getting the wind. And then right after that week, it was like a few days later, I believe there was a tornado in the UK, which is what we were reading for.
So unusual. Yeah.
But then on top of it, we really got a clue for what was coming up. I mean, it is hurricane season.
Yeah.
But I think this is a special case with this hurricane. This is something that's definitely going.
It is.
Headlines, Melanie. Everyone should leave.
Yes.
Lala, Elon said that his people were being blocked by FEMA. Yeah, I know. And FEMA is saying that's not true. But I think that they're understaffed. There's 9%, I think, of employees. They're at 9%. So, a typical government organization, not to say anything political. But
understaffed. Yeah, stretched beyond. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Lala, you said about like 2 tornadoes that went through Wuhan, China. Right. Again, twins. We've had enough of the twins.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to get back to this.
Yes.
And I think we already talked about, are there more? You think that there are going to be more. This is the USA solar chart,
Yeah.
but there does look like good news here when I see a blue little triangle showing. There's a flow of energy here, and this is going to be. Let's see, this is starts on the birthday of the U.S., so July 4th, August 4th, September 4th, October 4th to November 4th.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at mainly Saturn and Uranus. So we're looking at a lot of tech. We are looking at this famous female who I think is helping. There are other people in the wings who are quote unquote helping. We don't know. We don't know what they're up to. But
Yeah.
it does look like a famous female. Did we draw cards on the
Hmm.
female?
Yes, and I ended up having the Queen of Cups in reverse. Very long-haired lady. Let's see what this is. This is now I have her counterpart, the King of Cups, also in reverse though, and the Moon. The Moon is a famous woman, right?
Yes,
Hmm.
famous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, King of Cups. This almost feels like, oh, the Empress in reverse. This is like a woman, a famous woman who might have fallen out of favor and is sort of coming into it as a resurgence of popularity, or sort of leaning into, you know, the moment to sort of have better press. It almost feels like a press opportunity that they might
Yes.
not be a favorite or had been. I don't know who that might be.
Yes.
Um,
Cat three,
mm,
three of swords. Good one. Yeah, absolutely. A duchess comes to mind if there's somebody that
mhm,
fell out of favor. But
mhm,
um, yeah, I don't know if it's Dolly. She's been doing her part in North Carolina and
mm.
really surprised everyone with her $1 million um,
Well,
donation.
the King of Cups in reverse is also a male counterpart fallen out of favor. And these cards indicate someone younger than Dolly. I would say younger than Dolly.
So
Oh,
maybe that's the Black Moon Lilith, where, they're kind of doing it for themselves, but they
mhm.
are helping. So let them
Yeah,
help,
yeah,
let them do that. So I
yeah,
like that. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
Natalie, you said, I saw a long haul driver say that the trucking site they use has no loads to even book to get supplies down there. And it's usually flooded with bookings during disasters like this.
Huh.
Hmm, that's weird. We need some long haulers here.
Yeah,
I don't know. People aren't doing their jobs as usual. It doesn't matter what
yeah,
administration you're talking about. It's the government.
yeah.
And Oprah, I highly doubt though. Clinton. Oops, I didn't mean to put that on there. And oh, you mean Hillary Clinton? And then CR user was interesting in that the East Coast of Texas longshoremen strike was delayed after Florida
Hmm.
governor said he would step in to stop the strike. Yeah, I that's true. It was such a great time to go on strike, not to get off topic, but
Yeah,
right before the elections. That's when you strike.
yeah.
And Deb said FEMA website doesn't have job openings for disaster recovery, and yet they are short staffed.
Hmm.
Very, very good point. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think there's a mindset. I would like to ask a question. I
yeah.
want to know, what is wrong with a government? Why?
That's a big question.
Well, when it comes to rescuing, um, what is wrong? Why are things not working? An example would be, like I said in the last show, you see a lot of cars on one side and then so much road going inbound. Shut the inbound off and make it an outbound.
Yeah,
Why is that so hard? So what's
yeah,
going on? Why is everything just kind of stuck? And I don't mean that
yeah.
in a political way at all.
The funny thing is, we spoke about this earlier, and the fact that it just came out with this very question is really interesting. The Three of Wands. And all the things you just said really struck a chord. So, Three of Wands is about things coming in, resources, expectations. This is something where, what is wrong with the government? My first thought was that their expectations are no act. This is a non-actionary card. This is a stand on the shoreline and wait.
Yes.
But it made me think of that inbound road as well, being wide open and sort of available for inbound either supplies, additional support, people coming from out of state to support the recovery. So is it the mindset is just like not, kind of off? They're like, well, we'll leave this open for people to come and help us clean up. But in the meantime, no one can get out. So it's sort of that, yeah, not
Mhm.
thinking clearly or not taking enough fast action. It's maybe being delayed and like, oh, we should have done that 5 minutes ago, but let's do it now.
Exactly. And doesn't that card also mean you got to go it alone? Like you want to be rescued, you're
Yes.
on your own. I mean, you have freedom, but
I have my surfboard. I don't need a boat. I'm gonna get
it's
on my.
like, right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, so
Yeah.
another reason to leave. There are churches. There are people. If you don't know where to go, email me. Um, we can find a place for you.
Yeah.
It's just destructive beyond belief, and there will be deaths. You can find my information on the info tab on YouTube. And um,
Yeah.
I know, Melanie. Do we really have time for that question? Exactly. It was quite
Yes.
broad, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, there's just so many things. But we just need more funding for this stuff.
Yeah.
And definitely now they need an astrologer in there. That's the problem,
That's
because
right.
they would say Saturn and Pisces, we're going to need to get some funding for especially the coastal areas and the Gulf Coast. So
Yeah.
terrible.
Absolutely.
Now, let me see here. I think that Jane is saying, isn't Milton on the path towards Disney? Milton was the original name they had for Mickey Mouse. Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that.
And
That
two
is,
names, Mickey Mouse.
oh my God. Oh, and check this out.
Wow.
I am so glad Jane brought that up, because I was going to say that Milton means a mill town. And
Right.
that's what Tampa was. It was a mill town. It was
Oh.
actually
Huh.
the cigar capital of the world.
Hmm.
And what is a cigar? It's Leo and Gemini. So
Yeah.
Gemini is something small,
Huh.
So yeah, Orlando is in its path. So we
Yeah.
we hope it doesn't hit Disney World, even though who has the money to go to Disney World?
Yes.
Yeah.
Impossibly expensive. Yeah.
Let me get back here to some of these comments. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's been, I wonder if, can I ask you this? Is there going to be something besides a hurricane? There be a tornado with it? Is it going to be a complex storm?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to read, but
These cards are flying out as if I'm sitting in the wind right now.
here.
Yeah, it's very strange. Let's see. Ask the quality. Well, this looks very complex. The Eight of Swords. You can almost see the movement, wrapping around this person, who's stuck. This looks to me like the answer is yes, with it being in the upright. And the imagery to me is saying complexity. There's some kind of additional complexity.
Okay. So not
But then
just,
right behind it is the Gemini card, the lovers, like two. Maybe is it somebody said something. I need to know more about hurricanes, like the double wall. Maybe Melanie said, or something similar to Katrina. It might have similar pathology, if that's the right word, in a storm
exactly.
to that. Yeah.
So we're thinking the general consensus here with the chat and with the astrology and the cards is that there could be another storm coming in, a
Mhm.
twinning type of storm. If this isn't the twin to the last storm,
Right.
but there could be something that comes as a surprise that could be a second storm.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm. Mm.
oh gosh, is this Mexico? Someone posted a video claiming bodies being washed up are of local people. Hmm. Melanie, I feel like there will be lots of fire. Okay.
Mhm.
And Melanie is
Got
psychic,
that.
so I think
Yes, I had that too.
really.
Well, I said that about like it's like fire sparking from downed wires or something like that.
Oh,
That might be the biggest threat. But I mean, obviously, not a lot of fires start where there's massive flooding, but I definitely, Melanie, got the same thing. And this is interesting. I don't know what it's called, the phenomenon where not a typhoon. Is it a typhoon where it's like a tornado in water?
I think so. Yeah.
That could be something we see. I have this magician card in reverse when we were asked when you were talking about, a twin or a sort of copycat as secondary. And it almost looks like, I mean, in the reverse, he's definitely making mischief. And it looks like he's actually swirling water into like a funnel. Like, are they going to have little, I don't know what they're called, spouts, water spouts?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. A water spout. Whoa.
Yes, like the little
That's,
phenomenon in the water. Hurricanes and
yeah.
oh,
Lala's like, that's what they call hurricanes in China.
a
Yes,
typhoon.
there's
Okay,
typhoon,
okay.
typhoon.
Hmm,
Yes. Okay.
might do that.
Yeah, so a typhoon is possible. And then Nadine, like you said, is a female named hurricane, could even be worse. So please, please get out of there.
No,
And I'm saying this to my family and friends there as well, who are
yeah,
just, some people are just bullheaded and they don't, it's that sometimes, but it's also financial too. It's like,
yeah,
you're not going to, nobody's going to be, this is arguable, but
yeah,
will somebody be helping you when you get to your destination? And that's a scary
right.
thought.
Yeah, where can you go? Yeah. Do you have the
Exactly.
means to go, and where will you go? Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much. I am going to sign off. I know you sound great, but you're improving, and thank you for taking the time when you're sick. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
Thanks,
we'll
Evan.
see you guys on Friday for Royal Revelations and headlines for the UK. But everyone stay safe, and thanks for tuning in.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.